"2025 is stacked with action movies that hit harder, move faster, and refuse to let you look away. If you want pure adrenaline, wild stunts, and unforgettable moments, these 10 picks are the ones you can't skip. Let's jump straight into it. 1. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. The craziest thing about The Final Reckoning isn't the massive stunts. It's how close everything feels to completely falling apart. Right from the first scene, the movie throws you into a mission that's already collapsing, and Ethan Hunt is forced to improvise every second just to stay alive. But what makes this entry hit harder is the sense of finality hanging over every decision. Characters who were once unshakable now look stretched thin, and the tension never lets you breathe. Cruise delivers some of his most dangerous practical stunts yet, the kind where you can feel the wind rushing past him and the ground rushing up at terrifying speed. Nothing looks safe, nothing looks easy, and that realism keeps you glued to the screen. What elevates the film is the emotional weight behind the chaos. Secrets surface, old alliances crack, and every close call feels like it could be the last. Instead of relying on nostalgia, the story pushes the characters into darker, more uncertain territory. By the time the final act hits, you're locked in, waiting for the moment everything snaps. And somehow, it still manages to surprise you. Number 2, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Furiosa doesn't ease you in. It grabs you by the throat and drags you straight into the wasteland. From the opening minute, the world feels hostile, unstable, and ready to swallow anyone who hesitates. This is a story about survival, grit, and a young woman forced to carve her identity out of chaos. The action scenes explode with mechanical fury, engines screaming, metal tearing, and desert storms turning every chase into a fight against nature itself. George Miller doesn't just shoot action, he paints with it. Every vehicle looks like it was pulled from a nightmare workshop, and every stunt feels like someone risked their life to pull it off. Anya Taylor-Joy brings a cold, calculated intensity to Furiosa. She rarely speaks, but her silence is louder than dialogue. You see strategy in her eyes, rage in her movements, and defiance in every impossible escape. What makes Furiosa unforgettable is its sense of momentum. The film never slows, it evolves. Every chapter feels like a new trial, each more dangerous than the last. And just when you think she's safe, the world proves you wrong. This isn't just a prequel, it's a battle hymn for survival. Number 3, John Wick, Chapter 4. The moment Chapter 4 begins, you feel it. John Wick isn't fighting for revenge anymore. He's fighting because he refuses to die on someone else's terms. And that shift changes everything. The film wastes zero time. 1 minute Wick is strategizing. The next he's tearing through rooms of enemies with choreography so precise it feels unreal. Every sequence is a masterclass in controlled brutality. Long takes, clean movements, and stunt performers who give it everything. But the real hook? Wick is tired. You can see it in every step. He's running out of time, allies, and breath. Yet the fights only get bigger, smarter, and more vicious. Osaka, Berlin, Paris. Each city becomes a battleground with its own flavor. The stairway battle alone feels like a mini-movie, packed with tension, exhaustion, and shocking reversals. And beneath all the chaos is a story about a man trying to claw back a sliver of freedom. Not redemption, just freedom. Chapter 4 proves you don't need superheroes to make incredible action. You just need a man who refuses to fall. Number 4, The Fall Guy. What makes The Fall Guy irresistible is how fast it pulls you into the world of stunt chaos. One moment you're laughing at the behind-the-scenes madness. The next you're watching a stunt so dangerous your palms start sweating. Ryan Gosling plays a stuntman who gets dragged into a real conspiracy, and the movie cleverly blends comedy with jaw-dropping action. But the hook is simple. Everything looks real because so much of it is real. Fire gags, car flips, high falls. the kind stunt crews whisper about for years. Instead of relying on CGI, the film leans into the bruises, the close calls, and the moments where timing is everything. And that authenticity hits differently. There's also a warm, unexpected heart to the story. The romance adds emotional stakes, and the inside look at the stunt world gives the film a charm most action movies never attempt. By the end, The Fall Guy feels like a celebration of danger, of passion, and of the people who make movie magic without ever being seen. Number 5, Extraction 2. The hook for Extraction 2 is immediate. Tyler Rake shouldn't be alive, but here he is, fighting harder than ever. From the first frame, the film hits you with urgency. There's no warm-up. You're thrown directly into a rescue mission built like a pressure cooker about to explode. The near-legendary one-shot sequence is a highlight. A prison riot, a moving firefight, and close-quarters brawling that feels brutally authentic. It's chaotic, sweaty, and shot with a confidence that dares your brain to keep up. Hemsworth sells every hit. Rake is half broken, half unstoppable, a man driven by duty, guilt, and instinct. And that emotional weight makes the action matter more. What makes the sequel stronger is how personal the violence feels. The environment becomes part of the fight, and the choreography forces Rake to improvise constantly. Nothing is clean. Nothing is easy. Everything hurts. Extraction 2 doesn't just go bigger. It goes deeper, proving that intensity means more when you care who's bleeding. Number 6, The Killer. The Killer grips you with silence. Not peaceful silence, the kind that feels like something terrible is seconds away. Michael Fassbender plays an assassin who lives by routine, until one mistake sends everything spiraling. The hook is the film's cold precision. Every action is measured. Every movement is controlled. But beneath the calm exterior is a growing fracture, and watching that crack spread is mesmerizing. The action isn't constant, but when it arrives, it's sudden and ruthless, the kind of violence that ends before you fully register it. No wasted motion, no hesitation, just consequences. Fincher style turns observation into suspense. Long stretches of quiet force you to scan the frame for danger, and that keeps your pulse jumping even when nothing is happening. What makes The Killer irresistible is the psychological unraveling. This isn't a man seeking redemption. He's trying to preserve the illusion that he hasn't lost control. But every misstep proves otherwise. When he finally snaps, it's subtle but chilling. Number 7, Godzilla Minus One. The genius of Godzilla Minus One is that it makes destruction emotional. You don't just watch cities crumble. You feel what it means for the people living through it. And that's the hook. The human story hits just as hard as the monster. Set in post-war Japan, the film follows characters already crushed by loss when Godzilla emerges as a new nightmare. His arrival isn't treated like entertainment. It's treated like a trauma. Every roar echoes through the characters' pasts, and every attack feels like history repeating itself in the worst way. When the action erupts, it's massive. Godzilla moves with terrifying weight, and his attacks feel violent, unpredictable, and unstoppable. The destruction is visually stunning, but never mindless. The stakes stay painfully personal. What makes this movie unforgettable is how it blends spectacle with vulnerability. The characters don't feel like disposable extras. They feel like people fighting to reclaim hope from the ashes. By the end, you're not just watching a monster movie. You're watching a story about resilience. Number 8, Den of Thieves 2, Pantera. Pantera grabs you instantly with its gritty texture. From the opening minutes, you feel the tension, the grit under every character's voice, the danger behind every plan, and the sense that no one is telling the whole truth. Gerard Butler returns as Big Nick, and he's messier, angrier, and more unpredictable than ever. This isn't a clean cop versus criminal story. It's a collision course between people who know each other too well to make mistakes, but keep doing it anyway. The action is tight and tactical. No flashy chaos, just ruthlessly efficient shootouts where positioning and timing feel like life or death decisions. The chases are sweaty, loud, and grounded in realism. What keeps the movie gripping is how unstable everything feels. Loyalties shift, plans distort, and when violence erupts, it's quick and heavy. Behind-the-scenes talk of Butler pushing through real injuries adds authenticity. You can almost see the pain in his movements, making his character's desperation feel real. Pantera is the kind of action thriller where nobody walks away clean, and that's what makes it addictive. Number 9. Sisu, Road to Revenge. Few films open with as much menace as Road to Revenge. The world is cold, empty, and unforgiving. The kind of place where a single man can disappear or become a legend. And that's the pull. Watching one survivor take on impossible odds with nothing but instinct and fury. The action is fast and brutal. No long speeches, no wasted motion, just raw, efficient combat. The hero turns snow, silence, and the frozen wilderness into weapons, using the landscape the way other characters use guns. What makes the film stand out is its creativity. Every enemy falls in a different, shocking way, and each fight escalates in intensity. It's violent, yes, but not gratuitous. It's about cleverness, endurance, and sheer will. The main character barely talks, but his actions scream defiance. You know nothing about him, yet you root for him instantly because the world around him is so merciless. This is revenge stripped down to its purest form. Cold, relentless, and strangely satisfying. Number 10. The Night Comes for Us. The hook is simple. No action movie hits harder than this one. The Night Comes for Us is chaos with choreography, brutality with purpose, and storytelling that never slows down long enough for you to breathe. Ito, a former enforcer, chooses to save a child he was ordered to kill, a single act that unleashes an army of assassins determined to wipe him out. And from that point on, the film becomes a non-stop gauntlet of some of the most intense fight scenes ever put on screen. The action is wild, but never sloppy. Every hit lands. Every throw hurts. Every room becomes a battleground. The creativity on display is insane. Broken glass, knives, improvised traps, and hand-to-hand combat that looks too painful to fake. What makes it unforgettable isn't just the violence. It's the emotional desperation. Ito isn't fighting to survive. He's fighting because he knows he probably won't. That hopeless determination turns every confrontation into something raw and strangely beautiful. This is the definition of unskypable action. If you love this list, hit subscribe and join TenWatchList for more fast, must-watch recommendations every week. Your next favorite film is waiting.